Hello everybody, I am Daniel Clemens, the Hema Vtuber. Today I am going to show you a video of a sparring match between me and a friend who practices Filipino martial arts. You can kind of think of it as sort of a Hema versus FMA video, although I don't think either of us are quite qualified to be the representative of our martial arts. But we do our best. I am on the right side of the screen. My friend is the one on the left. So, first thing you'll notice, I have chosen a European Quillian dagger, and my friend has chosen two knives. The knives give him a bit of an advantage by having two weapons, but my dagger gives me a greater reach and a more robust guard for the hands. That's our first exchange. Like most knife fighting, we'd have both ended up being cut. Some quick jabs. Once again, both of us cut to the outside of the forearm. And there is me acting like I'm using a feather duster to attack. I've really got to get better control over my blades on occasion. I don't like when I play the video back and I find that I am flailing more than anything else. But, you know, that's how I'm going to improve by watching these. And there we go. That is a great disarm from my friend. I come in. I was making contact right here, but of course, if these were real knives, the rib cage probably would have been stopping the blade. And he has trapped my wrist. You can see that. That seems to be a very characteristic technique of Filipino martial arts. And he strips the blade just as he's been taught. It's a very good technique there. And there is my attempt to change hands in the middle of a fight. It tends to work better for me than it did here, but he wasn't falling for my feint at the time, so. And he got me good there. I think I did hit him in the chest, but that was a real good hit to my arm. And now I am trying to fight from more of a hanging guard, and that does tend to work well for me, but I wasn't really thinking it worked well there. Let's go back. That's another exchange that I think is notable. I come in and I would have gotten cut, but in a fight, I will take a cut to the hand against a cut to the chest any day. Just a quick exchange. I was again flailing about, hit him with the flat of my blade rather than the edge, and here you can see that he has gotten serious and put his offhand blade into the reverse grip. And I got serious and bopped him in the face, because the reverse grip is not always that great. Let's watch that one again. So I tried to feint high and go low. You can see that right there. Unfortunately, it did not work, and I would have caught a blade to the face. Now, I know that there's a knife fighting style from the Netherlands. I can't really recall what the name is, but the general rule is that the winner is the person who draws blood from the face or head, and you would incur legal penalties if you caused the death of the person you were fighting. So I would have been doubly out of luck if that exchange had happened back then. Another one where I tried to block the blade with my hand. I didn't. Ooh, double serious now. He's got double reverse grip. And he throws the blade at me. You know, if it works, it works. And the best part about him doing that is that he has another blade to use if his does not land a clean hit. You know, that one I was able to do a quick snipe to the arm and get away, and then I try to do my own throw the blade, and I completely miss. So let that be a lesson. If you're going to throw knives, have two of them. I tried to vary up my stance there. I don't think it really worked. And now I'm starting to switch hands more. Another feather duster knife there. I've really got to control that. It's not that it's bad, but it looks unprofessional. Good series of thrusts. Nothing hit, but you know, it was still some clean knife fighting. Better than dirty knife fighting. That's reserved for a Saturday night. Oh, and finally, there is the injury of the day. We both attack at the same time, and I can't really go back frame by frame, but you can see that he's basically ends up punching the edge of my blade while trying his own attack. And you know, finger hits are pretty common in Hema and any other bladed martial art. Actually, if you see that my Vtuber model has the bandages on his arm, that is sort of supposed to be representative of that fact. So yeah, let this be a bit of a PSA. Even if you don't think that you need extra protective gear, you need it. My friend would not have been injured had I been more insistent on wearing gloves. You know, good Hema saying, no kit, no hit. It's okay to do if you know the person really well. But sometimes you just gotta say, hey, I don't care if it feels weird, you gotta wear protection. Anyways, after the knife, we decided to use some softer weapons. He has a baston, and I am using my Go Now padded Dusak as a cutlass. So, unlike the knives, I've just got a straight up advantage with this weapon. Considering I've got a few inches of extra length and a handguard at all. I was going to say a more substantial handguard, but having anything at all is better than the stick of wood. And I start taking advantage of that by just sniping his hand. Yep, there we go. Protected by the handguard and by the length. And then just a lot more wrist snipes. We both got each other there. I try feints. I'm not good enough at feinting to convince him to drop his guard. Going with these weapons does make me wonder why so few cultures seem to have built uh, weapons that have very extensive handguards. My working theory is that they, at least for Filipino weapons, they were often farm tools, is my understanding. Well, farming or, just daily tools. So putting a big handguard on them would make them less effective tools, and they were only weapons sporadically. But if anybody else has a better theory, drop it in the comments. And yeah, another one where it's just sniping the wrist. Two hits to the arm. Oh, and I think I looked good on that one. Just a quick drop down, get the knee. I think it's interesting how he's very much more forward weighted and I'm much more back weighted. Got me right in the head. That was one of those hits where you hear bells for a little bit afterwards. Luckily, I have had tinnitus since I was young, so I didn't even notice. Another hit to the hand. And here I tried hang guard again, and it does not work out for me at all. Stabs me right in the wrist. And I believe I abandon it really quickly. It might actually be worth mentioning that generally, when I'm up against opponents who practice Hema, I've found the hanging guard to be an effective guard. But sparring against my friend here, I only ever, I think the best guard that I found to be useful against him was a inside guard. And I don't know if there's anything profound about that difference between HEMA and FMA, but that's what I've noticed. And I think we do one exchange before I get him back in the hand, and we need to stop. And that's the sparring highlights from my weekend sparring session. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it entertaining. I'm Daniel Clemens, the Hema Vtuber, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.